The lights of Aurora Prime Space Station flickered with excitement. Today was special. Very special. For the first time in human history, aliens were coming to visit as friends, not as conquerors from old movies. Jake Martinez pushed his cleaning cart down the main corridor, whistling softly. He had worked as a janitor on the station for 3 years now. Every day was the same. Mop the floors, empty the trash, fix the broken things that important people were too busy to notice. But today felt different. The whole station buzzed with activity. Scientists ran around in their clean white coats. Diplomats practiced their speeches in the mirrors. Even the cafeteria workers had put on their best uniforms. Everyone wanted to look perfect for the Zalathi Empire delegation. Jake had read about the Zalathi in the station files. They were tall, thin people with silver skin and large purple eyes. Most amazing of all, they could speak with their minds. No words needed. They could also make machines work just by thinking about them. The scientists called them the most advanced species they had ever met. The welcome ceremony was set to begin in the main hall. Jake finished mopping the floor there just as the first important people started arriving. He moved to the side, trying to stay invisible. Janitors were not supposed to be seen during important events. Director Collins stood at the front, adjusting his tie for the 10th time. He was a thin man with gray hair who always looked worried. Today he looked extra worried. This meeting could change everything for humans. If it went well, the Zalathi might share their amazing technology. If it went badly, the main doors opened with a soft whoosh. 6 Zalathi walked in, moving like dancers. They were just as beautiful as the pictures showed. Their silver skin seemed to glow under the station lights. But Jake noticed something strange. 2 of the aliens were much smaller than the others. They looked young, maybe even children. The adult Zalathi moved with confidence, their heads high, but the 2 young ones stayed close together, their big eyes darting around the room like scared animals. One was a boy, the other a girl. They held hands tightly. "Welcome to Aurora Prime," Director Collins said with his biggest smile. "We are honored to have you here." The lead Zalathi, a tall woman with elegant robes, nodded politely. She spoke without moving her mouth, and somehow everyone understood her words in their heads. It felt strange and wonderful at the same time. "We thank you for this meeting," her voice said inside their minds. "We hope this begins a long friendship between our peoples." The ceremony continued with speeches and gift exchanges. Everything was going perfectly. Then something went wrong. The young Zalathi boy, Kix, seemed nervous. His large eyes kept looking at all the humans staring at him. Suddenly, Director Collins opened his mouth and said, "I hope these aliens don't want our military secrets." Then he looked shocked. He had not meant to say that out loud. Other humans began saying things they clearly did not want to say. Dr. Peterson blurted out, "That girl alien looks weird," Captain Brooks announced. "I forgot to brush my teeth this morning." The humans started laughing nervously. Some looked angry. The young Zalathi boy's eyes filled with tears. His sister Vera put her arm around him. As she did, the lights began to flicker. Then the microphone started making loud screeching sounds. The adult Zalathi looked embarrassed. The lead woman spoke quickly in their minds. "We apologize. The younglings are still learning control. This happens when they are upset." But the damage was done. The humans were no longer smiling. Some pointed at the twins and whispered. Jake heard words like broken and defective and dangerous. The ceremony continued, but it was not the same. During dinner, people moved away from the twins. When Kix accidentally made someone spill their drink by thinking too hard, several diplomats laughed out loud. Not nice laughter. Mean laughter. "Look at the mighty Zalathi," someone whispered. "Can't even control their own children." The twins sat alone at their table, not eating. The other Zalathi adults were busy talking to human officials. No one paid attention to the 2 young ones who looked like they wanted to disappear. Jake watched from the corner where he was cleaning glasses. His heart hurt for them. He remembered being young and different and alone. When he was a kid, other children made fun of him because his family was poor. He knew what it felt like when everyone laughed at you. As the dinner ended, people began to leave. The twins sat at their empty table, looking lost. The adult Zalathi were still busy with meetings. Jake made a decision. He walked to the kitchen and made 2 simple sandwiches, peanut butter and jelly, the kind his own kids loved. He poured 2 glasses of milk and put everything on a small tray. Then he walked over to the twins. They looked up at him with those huge purple eyes, surprised that anyone was approaching them. Jake set the tray down gently and smiled. He did not know any Zalathi words, so he just pointed at the food and then at them. "For you," he said simply. The twins looked at each other, having a silent conversation with their minds. Then the girl Vera reached out and took a small bite of the sandwich. Her eyes grew wide. She said something in Zalathi to her brother. He tried the sandwich too and almost smiled. Jake sat down across from them. He pulled out his wallet and showed them pictures of his own family. His wife Maria, his daughter Lucy, his son Carlos. He pointed at each picture and said their names slowly. "Family," he said, pointing at the picture, then at his heart. The twins understood. Vera pointed at herself and her brother, then made the same gesture toward her heart. "Kix," she said, pointing at the boy. "Vera," she said, pointing at herself. Jake nodded and smiled. "Jake," he said, pointing at himself. They sat together in comfortable silence, sharing the simple meal. Around them, important people made important plans. But for Jake and the twins, this moment was perfect. It was the beginning of something special, though none of them knew it yet. When Jake finally had to leave, he gathered his cleaning supplies. As he walked away, he turned back and waved. Both twins waved back, their first real smiles of the day lighting up their faces. Tomorrow, Jake decided, he would bring them something even better than sandwiches. Maybe some of those chocolate chip cookies from the cafeteria. Every kid deserved to feel welcome, even alien kids who were far from home. 3 weeks had passed since the Zalathi delegation arrived at Aurora Prime. The adult aliens spent their days in meetings with scientists and government officials. But the twins, Kix and Vera, spent most of their time alone. Jake had kept his promise. Every day during his lunch break, he visited the twins in their quarters. At first they were shy and scared, but slowly they began to trust him. Jake brought them treats from the cafeteria, cookies, fruit, and sometimes ice cream. The twins had never tasted ice cream before. Watching their faces light up when they tried chocolate for the first time made Jake smile for hours. Communication was hard at first. The twins could speak into people's minds, but they were afraid to do it after the embarrassing first day. Instead, they learned to speak with their mouths like humans did. Their voices were soft and musical like wind chimes. "Jake good?" Vera said one day, practicing her English words. "Jake, friend?" "Yes," Jake agreed, sitting on the floor of their room playing cards. "Jake, friend?" "Kix, friend." "Vera, friend." The twins had taught him a simple card game from their home world. It involved matching colors and shapes, but also required players to guess what the other person was thinking. Jake was terrible at it, which made the twins giggle. Their laughter was the most beautiful sound he had ever heard. During these visits, Jake learned more about the twins' sad story. Their home planet Zalara had been destroyed in a terrible war. Not by outside enemies, but by their own people fighting each other. The twins' parents had died protecting other families. Kix and Vera were the only survivors from their entire city. "We have no home," Kix told him one day, his purple eyes dim with sadness. "We have no family, only each other." Jake's heart broke for them. He understood now why their powers were so unstable. They were not broken or defective. They were hurt and scared and grieving, just like any human child would be after losing everything. The other humans on the station did not understand this. They saw the twins as a problem, an embarrassment. Jake heard the whispers in the hallways. People complained when the lights flickered near the twins' room. They rolled their eyes when Kix accidentally made the elevator stop working because he was having a bad dream. Director Collins was the worst. Jake overheard him talking to the adult Zalathi one evening. "Perhaps the young ones should return to your ship," Collins suggested. "They seem unstable. This is supposed to be a diplomatic mission, not a babysitting service." The lead Zalathi woman, Ambassador Thala, looked tired. "They have nowhere else to go. We are all that remains of our people scattered across the stars. We cannot abandon them." But Jake could see the strain. Even the adult Zalathi were getting frustrated with the twins. Everyone wanted them to be perfect examples of their advanced species. Instead, they were just traumatized children who needed time to heal. Jake decided to help in his own way. During his night shift cleaning duties, he started bringing the twins along. The hallways were empty after midnight, so no one would complain about flickering lights or broken equipment. "Want to see something cool?" Jake asked them one night. He led them to the observation deck, a huge room with windows looking out into space. The twins had never seen it before. They pressed their faces against the glass, staring in wonder at the stars and distant planets. Beautiful, Vera whispered. Jake showed them Earth through the telescope. It was just a small blue dot from here, but it was home. He told them stories about Earth, about oceans and forests, about snow and rain, about all the different animals that live there. Earth has many different people too, Jake explained. Different colors, different languages, different ways of living. But we are learning to be friends with everyone. The twins listened carefully. On their world, everyone had looked the same and thought the same thoughts. The idea of diversity was new to them. Jake also showed them the laboratories where human scientists worked. The twins were fascinated by the computers and machines. Without thinking, Vera reached out and touched a computer screen. Suddenly it started working faster than ever before. Oh! She pulled her hand back, scared she had broken something. But Jake was amazed. That's incredible. You made it work better. Kix tried touching another machine. This one was broken and had been sitting unused for weeks. Under his touch, it hummed back to life. The twins looked at each other with wonder. They had always been told their abilities were for communicating and healing. They had never thought about using them to help machines work better. You two are special, Jake told them. Not broken, special, different in a good way. Over the following days, Jake continued these secret midnight tours. He showed them the hydroponic gardens where food was grown in space. The twins were fascinated by how humans could make plants grow without soil. They showed him Zalathi techniques for helping plants grow faster and stronger. In the engineering section, the twins proved they could understand machine problems just by touching them. They could not fix everything, but they could tell the engineers exactly what was wrong. It was like having the most advanced diagnostic tool in the galaxy. But when Jake tried to tell the station officials about these amazing discoveries, no one listened. Martinez, you're a janitor, not a scientist, Director Collins said dismissively. Please stick to mopping floors and let the experts handle the aliens. Dr. Peterson was even worse. Those creatures are dangerous and unpredictable. Keep them away from our equipment before they break something important. Jake felt frustrated, but he did not give up. He knew the twins were special. He knew they had gifts that could help everyone. He just needed to find a way to show the world. The twins could sense his frustration through their mild telepathic connection with him. Jake's sad because of us. Kix said one night as they played cards in their room. No, Jake said firmly. Jake's sad because other people are blind. They cannot see how wonderful you are. Vera smiled at him. Jake sees us. Jake believes in us. That enough, but Jake knew it was not enough. These children deserved better than hiding in the shadows. They deserved respect and love and a chance to show the galaxy their incredible gifts. He just had to figure out how to make that happen. It was 2 a.m. when Jake led the twins through the restricted science section of Aurora Prime. His keycard worked in most areas, because janitors needed to clean everywhere, even the secret labs. The twins followed quietly, their bare feet making no sound on the metal floors. Where are we going, Jake? Vera asked softly. Somewhere special, Jake replied. But remember, this is our secret, okay? The twins nodded. They were good at keeping secrets now. They had to be. Jake stopped in front of a door marked Project New Earth Authorized Personnel Only. He swiped his card and led them inside. The room was huge, filled with computers, charts, and strange machines. In the center was a large holographic display showing a dead brown planet. Wow, Kix breathed, walking toward the display. Jake had cleaned this room many times. He had listened to the scientists talking while they worked. Project New Earth was trying to fix dead planets to make them green and alive again so people could live there. It was important work, but it was not going well. The humans are trying to bring dead worlds back to life, Jake explained to the twins. Like your home planet was before the war. The twins stared at the hologram with wide eyes. The planet looked exactly like Zalara had after the fighting stopped. Gray, lifeless, poisoned. Vera reached out tentatively toward the holographic controls. May I? Jake nodded. He trusted them completely now. Vera's fingers danced over the control panel. The display changed, showing different views of the dead planet. Information scrolled past in languages Jake could not read, but somehow Vera understood it all. This is wrong, she said, pointing at some numbers. The energy flows are backwards. Kix joined his sister, placing his hands on another console. The atmospheric processors are fighting each other instead of working together. Jake watched in amazement as the twins began working together. They did not speak out loud, but he could tell they were sharing thoughts. Their hands moved over the controls like they were playing a musical instrument. The holographic planet began to change. Green appeared in small patches. The gray atmosphere started to clear. Rivers formed where there had been only dust. How did you do that? Jake whispered. It's simple, Kick said, though Jake thought it looked anything but simple. Plants and air and water, they all want to work together. Humans try to force them. We just ask them nicely. For weeks after that discovery, the twins spent their nights in the lab with Jake. They could not use the main computers during the day because the human scientists were always working. But at night, they had the whole place to themselves. The twins worked like magic. Vera could sense what living things needed to grow and thrive. Kix could talk to the machines and make them understand what was required. Together, they began solving problems that human scientists had been struggling with for years. They figured out how to clean poisoned water using special bacteria. They learned to make soil fertile again using waste materials. Most amazing of all, they discovered how to change the weather on a planet by adjusting electromagnetic fields in space. Jake helped however he could. He brought them food and drinks while they worked. He learned to operate some of the simpler machines so he could assist with their experiments. Most importantly, he encouraged them when they got frustrated. You two are geniuses, he told them one night as they successfully created a small thunderstorm in the lab's weather simulation chamber. We not smart, Vera said sadly. If we smart, we save our home planet. Jake knelt down so he was at their eye level. Listen to me. You were children when your world died. Children, even human children, cannot save the world. But now you are helping save other worlds. Your parents would be so proud. The twins' eyes filled with tears, but they were happy tears this time. Their progress was incredible. In just 1 month, they had advanced the terraforming project more than the human team had in 2 years. They documented everything carefully, creating detailed plans that other scientists could follow. But there was a problem. Jake was just a janitor. When he tried to tell Director Collins about the breakthrough, the director barely listened. Martinez, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but please leave the science to the scientists, Collins said, not even looking up from his papers. Those alien children are guests here, not researchers. Jake tried Dr. Peterson next. The head scientist was even worse. Are you insane? Peterson snapped. Those creatures have been nothing but trouble since they arrived. I don't care what you think you saw them do. They're not qualified to work on sensitive projects. But sir, they solved the atmospheric processing problem that your team has been working on for months, Jake protested. Impossible, Peterson said flatly. We are the leading experts in terraforming technology. 2 traumatized alien children could not possibly understand our work better than we do. Jake felt helpless. He had proof. Hours of recorded experiments, successful simulations, detailed improvement plans. But no one would listen to him because he was just a janitor and the twins were just children. The twins sensed his frustration. Is okay, Jake, Kix told him. We know truth. You know truth. That enough. But it was not enough for Jake. These children had the power to restore dead worlds across the galaxy. They could give life back to planets that had been destroyed by war, or pollution or natural disasters. They could help millions of beings find new homes, and everyone was ignoring them because of prejudice and pride. Jake made a decision. If the official channels would not listen, he would find another way. He began secretly recording the twins' work, documenting their methods with his personal camera. He wrote down their explanations in simple language that anyone could understand. He also started teaching the twins more about human society and politics. If they were going to change the world, they needed to understand how the world worked. Humans are good people, he explained one night as they took a break from their experiments, but sometimes they are scared of change. Sometimes they think they know everything already. You have to be patient with them. Like you patient with us? Vera asked. Exactly like that, Jake smiled. The twins were growing more confident every day. Their English was getting better. Their control over their abilities was improving. Most importantly, they were starting to believe in themselves again. But Jake knew their real test was coming soon. The Zalathi delegation would not stay on Aurora Prime forever. Soon, important decisions would be made about the twins' future, and Jake was determined to make sure those decisions were the right ones. He just hoped he could find a way to make the world listen before it was too late. The alarm started screaming at 3:47 in the morning. Jake was in the lab with the twins, helping them test their latest terraforming solution. When the red emergency lights began flashing, "All personnel report to emergency stations immediately," the computer announced. "Critical system failure in progress." "This is not a drill." Jake's blood turned cold. In his 3 years on Aurora Prime, he had never heard a real emergency alarm. The twins looked at him with frightened eyes. "What happening, Jake?" Vera asked, grabbing his arm. Before he could answer, Director Collins's voice came over the speakers. He sounded scared, which made Jake even more worried. "Attention all residents of Aurora Prime. We are experiencing a cascade failure in our main computer systems. Life support, artificial gravity, and power distribution are all affected. Repair teams are working on the problem, but we may need to evacuate the station." The lights flickered and went out for a moment, then came back dimmer than before. The twins moved closer to Jake. "Evacuation ships cannot reach us for 46 hours, Collins continued. "Our backup power will last approximately 42 hours. All non-essential personnel should remain in their quarters and conserve oxygen." Jake felt sick. 4,000 people lived on Aurora Prime. The nearest rescue ships were too far away. If the human engineers could not fix the computers, everyone would die. "We go help," Kix said suddenly. "No," Jake replied immediately. "It's too dangerous. Besides, no one would let you near the main computers." But even as he said it, Jake was thinking, the twins had shown incredible ability to communicate with machines. They understood computer systems in ways that amazed him. If anyone could fix this problem, it might be them. Over the next few hours, things got worse. Jake took the twins back to their quarters as instructed, but he could not stop worrying. He listened to the emergency broadcasts. The human engineers were completely stumped. The computer failure was too complex, affecting too many systems at once. Dr. Peterson came on the radio, sounding frustrated and tired. "The AI network is rejecting all our repair attempts. It's like the computers are fighting us instead of helping us. We need more time to understand the problem, but we're running out of power." Jake looked at the twins. They were sitting together on their bed, holding hands and having one of their silent mental conversations. Finally, Vera spoke. "We can fix," she said simply. "The computers are scared," Kix added. "Like us when we first came here." "They not broken. Just confused and frightened." Jake stared at them. "You can sense what the computers are feeling?" "Is not exactly feeling," Vera explained. "But yes. The AI network is like big brain made of many small brains. Something scared it, made it close up to protect itself." "We can talk to it," Kix said. "Make it understand we want to help, not hurt." Jake's heart pounded. This could work. But he knew what would happen if he suggested it officially. Director Collins would never trust 2 alien children with everyone's lives. Dr. Peterson would rather die than admit the twins could solve a problem he could not. "If we try to help and they catch us, we'll all be in big trouble," Jake warned them. The twins looked at each other, then back at him. "People die if we not help," Vera said quietly. "That bigger trouble." Jake made the hardest decision of his life. He was just a janitor, not a hero. But sometimes janitors had to clean up messes that no one else could handle. "Okay," he said, "but we have to be very careful. Getting to the main computer core was dangerous." Emergency teams were working everywhere and security was tight. But Jake knew the station's maintenance tunnels better than anyone. He led the twins through narrow passages that most people did not even know existed. The computer core was a huge room filled with glowing towers of processors and memory banks. It was normally beautiful, but now many of the lights were red or flashing orange. Warning messages scrolled across dozens of screens. 3 human technicians were working frantically at a control station. Jake recognized them: Bobby Chen from the engineering team, Lisa Park from IT, and Kevin Brown from security systems. They all looked exhausted and scared. "The central AI is completely locked down," Bobby was saying. "It won't accept any commands. It's like it thinks we're the enemy." "We've tried everything," Lisa replied, tears in her voice. "Password resets, manual overrides, even direct hardware manipulation. Nothing works." Jake waited until they moved to check another system, then quickly led the twins to a different control panel. They would have to work fast and quietly. The twins placed their hands on the console. Immediately, their eyes began to glow with a soft purple light. They were using their telepathic abilities at full power. "Hello," Vera whispered to the computers. "We are friends. We want to help." The screens around them began to change. Error messages were replaced by streams of data. The twins' connection with the AI network was working. "It's scared," Kix said softly. "Someone tried to change its core programming yesterday. It think humans trying to hurt it." "We show it truth," Vera replied. "Humans not enemies. Humans family." But connecting with such a powerful AI network was dangerous. Jake could see the strain on the twins' faces. Sweat beaded on their silver skin. Their hands shook from the effort. "Guys, maybe this is too much," Jake said worriedly. "No," Kix gasped. "Almost there. AI starting to trust us." Around the room, the warning lights began changing from red to yellow to green. System status displays showed power being restored, life support stabilizing, gravity generators coming back online. The human technicians noticed immediately. "What the hell?" Bobby shouted. "The systems are repairing themselves." That's when they saw Jake and the twins at the control panel. Lisa screamed for security. Kevin reached for his radio to call for backup. "Stop," Jake yelled. "They're fixing the computers. They're saving us." But it was too late. The effort of healing the AI network was too much for the twins. Vera collapsed first, her small body going limp. Kix tried to maintain the connection alone, but he was not strong enough. He fell backward, both twins unconscious. The computer systems began failing again without their guidance. Security guards burst into the room, led by Director Collins himself. His face was red with anger. "Martinez, what have you done? You've brought those dangerous aliens into our most sensitive area." "They were fixing everything," Jake protested, kneeling beside the unconscious twins. "They were saving the station." "Arrest them," Collins ordered the guards. "All three of them. They're saboteurs." But Dr. Peterson, who had arrived with Collins, was staring at the computer displays. His expression was changing from anger to amazement. "Wait," he said slowly. "Look at these readings. The AI network diagnostic reports show that someone was healing the core programming pathways. The repair work is incredibly sophisticated, more advanced than anything we could do." Collins looked at the screens, then at the unconscious twins, then back at the screens. "Are you saying these children actually—" "They saved us," Jake said firmly, holding Vera's small hand. "They risked their own lives to save everyone on this station. And you want to arrest them for it." Around them, the lights began to flicker again as the AI network continued to destabilize without the twins' guidance. They had started the healing process, but they needed to finish it. Collins looked around the room at the failing systems, then at his own people who had been unable to solve the crisis. "Can they complete the repairs?" he asked reluctantly. "If they wake up," Jake replied. "If you let them." It was the moment of truth. Collins had to choose between his pride and everyone's survival. Director Collins stood in the computer core room, watching the systems fail around him. Red warning lights flashed faster. The emergency power counter showed 38 hours remaining. His people were exhausted and had no more ideas. He looked down at the unconscious twins, then at Jake, who was still holding their hands. "If they wake up, can they really fix this?" Collins asked quietly. "Yes," Jake said without hesitation. "But sir, they're just children. They're scared and hurt and far from home. They need to know you believe in them, not that you're angry at them." Collins had been a leader for 20 years. He had made hard decisions before, but this was the hardest. "Everyone out except Martinez and the medical team," he ordered. "Give them space to work." Dr. Lisa Park from the medical bay arrived quickly. She checked the twins' vital signs and declared them stable but exhausted. "It's like they burned out from mental strain," she explained. "I've never seen anything like it." Jake stayed by their sides, talking softly to them even though they could not hear. "Come on, guys, wake up. Everyone needs you. I need you." After 2 hours that felt like forever, Vera's eyes fluttered open. She looked around confused, then saw Jake's worried face. "Jake? What happened?" "You saved us," Jake said, relief flooding through him. "But you need to finish the job. Can you do it?" Kix woke up a few minutes later. Both twins were weak but determined. When Director Collins approached, they flinched, expecting to be yelled at. Instead, Collins knelt down to their level. "I owe you an apology," he said seriously. "I judged you unfairly. I was wrong. Will you help us save the station?" The twins looked at each other, having one of their silent conversations. Then they nodded. "We try," Vera said softly. This time the twins worked more carefully. They took breaks every few minutes to rest. Jake stayed close, bringing them water and encouraging them. Dr. Park monitored their health. Even Director Collins helped, following their instructions to adjust manual controls. Slowly, systematically, the twins healed the AI network. They showed it that humans were friends, not threats. They repaired damaged connections between different computer systems. Most amazingly, they taught the AI new ways to protect itself without shutting down completely. It took 8 hours, but finally the last warning light turned green. The computers hummed happily. Life support was stable. Power was restored. Aurora Prime was safe. The twins collapsed again, but this time from exhaustion, not injury. They had succeeded. News of their heroic deed spread quickly through the station. The people who had laughed at them just weeks before now called them heroes. Scientists who had ignored them now wanted to study their methods, but the biggest change was in how the station leadership treated them. "I have an announcement," Director Collins said at the next day's briefing. Effective immediately, Kix and Vera are appointed as special consultants to Aurora Prime's research division. They will work with our teams to advance human knowledge of AI organic interface technology. Dr. Peterson, who had opposed the twins from the beginning, stood up. "I also have an announcement. I was wrong about these remarkable individuals. I formally request that they join my terraforming project team. Their insights could help us restore dead worlds across the galaxy." Jake smiled proudly as the twins were invited to speak at the briefing. They were nervous but excited. "We want to help," Vera said, her English much improved after months of practice. "We want to make dead worlds alive again so no one loses home like we did. And we want to teach humans and Zalathi to work together," Kix added. "Together we stronger than alone." The terraforming project that had been struggling for years suddenly made incredible progress with the twins' help. They developed new technologies that could restore entire planets in months instead of decades. The breakthrough was so significant that other alien species began sending delegations to learn from them. Jake was offered many promotions and honors, but he chose to remain a janitor with one important addition. He became Aurora Prime's first cultural integration specialist. His job was to help new alien visitors feel welcome and comfortable. His simple wisdom about treating everyone with kindness became official station policy. "Jake taught us most important thing," Vera explained to a reporter who was writing about their story. "He taught us that being different is not being wrong. Being scared is not being weak. And being kind is the strongest thing anyone can do." 6 months later, the twins were ready for their biggest project yet. They had identified a planet in the Zalara system that could be restored to support life. It would become New Zalara, a home for surviving Zalathi scattered across the galaxy. Standing in the observation deck looking out at the stars, the twins and Jake made plans for their next adventure. "You sure you want to come with us?" Kix asked Jake. "Will be dangerous work on new planet." Jake laughed. "Are you kidding? After everything we've been through together? I'm not missing this for anything. Besides," Vera added with a grin, "new planet will need good janitor to keep it clean." Ambassador Thala approached them, carrying official documents from the Zalathi High Council. "The council has made a decision," she announced. "Kix and Vera are formally recognized as the youngest ambassadors in Zalathi history. They will represent our people in all future negotiations with humans and other species." The twins looked shocked. "But we are just children," Kix protested. "You are children who saved thousands of lives and brought 2 species together," Thala replied. "Age does not determine wisdom or courage." Jake was not surprised. He had always known the twins were special. As their ship prepared to depart for New Zalara, Jake packed his simple belongings. He was leaving behind his old life as just a janitor to become something he had never imagined, an interstellar diplomat and terraforming consultant. But more than that, he was going as a friend and father figure to 2 amazing children who had taught him that the most important job in the universe was not cleaning floors or running meetings. It was seeing the potential in others and believing in them when no one else would. The last entry in Jake's journal before they left Aurora Prime read, "Today I learned that heroes come in all sizes and shapes. Sometimes they look like alien children that everyone else thinks are broken. Sometimes they look like janitors that everyone else thinks are unimportant. But real heroes are the ones who choose kindness when it would be easier to choose fear." The twins saved the station, but they also saved something more important: They saved our ability to see good in each other. As their ship jumped to hyperspace, heading toward New Zalara and a future full of possibilities, Jake smiled. The galaxy was about to discover what he had known all along, that the most powerful force in the universe was not advanced technology or telepathic abilities. It was simple human compassion, and the courage to believe in others when they could not believe in themselves. The twins had found their purpose, to heal worlds and bridge species. Jake had found his, to stand beside them and help them change the galaxy, one act of kindness at a time. Their story was just beginning.